Tennessee Williams is an iconic American playwright known for revolutionizing 20th century drama with his poetic realism. Williams based a lot of A Streetcar Named Desire on his own life. Most of his characters have real people behind them, and this is a look at who those people were. Williams was born on March 26, 1911 in Columbus, Mississippi. His actual name was Thomas Lanier Williams III, and he started going by Tennessee in his mid-20s. His father, Cornelius, was a traveling shoe salesman who drank a lot and had a bad temper. Tennessee was a sickly, quiet kid, and his father didn't have much patience for that. His mother, Edwina, came from more of a proper Southern background. Her father was an Episcopal minister, and she cared a lot about how the family looked to other people. Stanley Kowalski is described as loud, physically intimidating, and as part of the working class, which is very close to how Tennessee describes his father. Blanche shows up as overdressed, obsessed with how she comes across, and desperate to hold onto an idea of the South that doesn't exist anymore. That's closer to his mother. Williams was very close with his older sister, Rose. Growing up, they were each other's closest company, but in the late 1930s, Rose started having serious mental health problems and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. In January 1943, while Tennessee was in California working on screenplays, their mother agreed to let doctors perform a prefrontal lobotomy on Rose. It was a surgery meant to reduce severe psychiatric symptoms. However, it didn't work, and Rose couldn't live independently after that, and she spent the rest of her life in institutions. Rose is most directly the model for Laura and is one of his earlier plays, The Glass Menagerie. But Blanche carries more of the same thing. She slowly loses touch with reality over the course of the play, and at the end, she's taken away to a psychiatric facility while Stella chooses to stay with Stanley instead of stopping it. Williams was gay. In the 1940s, that was illegal in most of the US, and that could end someone's career. He kept it private for most of his adult life and didn't write publicly about it until his memoir came out in 1975. Alan Gray, Blanche's dead husband, is the most direct place Williams puts this in Streetcar. In scene 6, Blanche tells Mitch the story. She married Alan when she was 16 and then walked on him with an older man. The three of them went out together afterwards like nothing happened, but on the dance floor, Blanche told Alan, I know, you disgust me." He walked outside and shot himself. Blanche carries that moment for the rest of the play. A lot of critics read Alan's story as Williams working through what it means to hide who you are and what it costs when someone exposes it. Williams' first major play, The Glass Menagerie, came out in 1944 and made him well known. A Streetcar Named Desire opened on Broadway on December 3, 1947. It ran for over 800 performances, and in 1948 it won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. The original cast included Marlon Brando as Stanley and Jessica Tandy as Blanche. Blanche's last line in the play is, "I have always depended on the kindness of strangers." It works for her character, and it also fits Williams pretty well. He wrote about people he knew, things that actually happened to his family, and fears he dealt with himself. That's what makes it hold up. Over his career, Williams won another Pulitzer Prize for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in 1955, along with 3 Tony Awards and 4 New York Drama Critics Circle Awards. In 1979, he received the Kennedy Center Honors, and in 1980, President Jimmy Carter awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. However, Williams' later years was pretty rough after his lifelong partner, Frank Merlo, died in 1961. Williams fell into a depression and relied heavily on prescription drugs as well as alcohol. His later plays mostly flopped, and by the 1970s, a lot of critics had written him off. Williams was found dead on February 25, 1983 in his suite at Hotel Elysee in Manhattan. He was 71, and the official cause of his death was asphyxia, where he choked on a plastic bottle cap, the kind that's used on eye drops or nasal spray bottles. An empty wine bottle as well as several prescription drugs were found in his room, but the circumstances were never fully settled. What Williams left behind, though, is pretty clear. Along with Eugene O'Neill and Arthur Miller, Williams is considered one of the 3 most important American playwrights of the 20th century. Streetcar is still performed regularly all over the world. The characters he built from his own family, his own guilt, and his own fears ended up being some of the most recognizable figures in American literature.